Welcome back to the Stadium of Light, and we're delighted to tell you Sunderland have won 2-0 against Ipswich Town this evening. We're going to show you the highlights right now. We'll run them and we'll talk over the action. And Danny, finally back to winning ways.
Yeah, relief I think is the big word really today, isn't it? You know, getting back to winning ways was vital. However, we managed to do it, and I think it wasn't a top display. You know, Ipswich, perhaps you haven't seen the stats in terms of possession yet, but and I know possession always doesn't win you games of football, but when you've got control of the ball, then you feel that you're going to obviously get the opportunities and create things. But see, in the first half here at Ipswich, I thought we're brighter and did create a little bit more than us. They were getting into some good areas, but we defended well as a unit today. I've just said there, you know, Winchester, Doyle, Wright, 09 going back in at left back, they all defended well, and Hoffman when he was called upon, see that one there. I think that was a good opportunity. Selina doesn't quite catch hold of it as he'd have liked, and it was comfortable for Hoffman. And we really took a while to get into the game, and Lee Johnson had to tinker the shape there. He changed it up, he sent Broadhead out onto the left-hand side, and we did get a little bit more control as the half wore on, I think, without, though, creating a good opportunity. You see, we're getting into these areas now when Ipswich had numbers back there, and once you get into the 18-yard box, it's tight to try and thread those balls. And then Ipswich came again. I think this one here, Morsey, I think if you look at that back, it's easy for us to see it from up here, but I think he can slot Bon in there with a clever little ball into him, who's spare at the back of the 6-yard box. I think that's a free kick there. He doesn't give it the referee. It's not a shoulder for me. He's played the ball past him and he stepped across it and he's bumped him off the ball. And this one here, you know, we'll perhaps slow this down as well, but I think, you know, I think it is a penalty. We said it before. Anywhere outside the box, I think he gives a free kick.
I think the Ipswich defenders are expecting the penalty.
Expecting him to blow it for it. Yeah, and sod's law. We get what I think is a softer penalty later on in the game, but we'll see that in a minute.
Hoffman with a triple save there.
Called upon there. Yeah, that was after what could have been the penalty shout for us, right? And you know, coming up to half time, I think Lyndon Gooch does really well there. Stands a lovely ball up, and it's crying out for somebody to go and attack it. No one does. We've got good numbers in there. 3 or 4 bodies just standing looking at it. No one's taking a gamble. You know, getting a spring up and. You know, you're getting ahead of 2 yards under the crossbar there. At the back post there, I think NCR, he's not even looking at the ball. You know, he's wrestled Ross Stewart to the ground. That one could have been given as a penalty. And we said right on half time it was quite frantic, wasn't it? There was a lot going on. Great ball in from Luke 09 there. I'm going to help Ross out here and say he couldn't sort his feet out because Edmondson looked like he was going to clear it in front of him. Maybe puts him off. In that one there, yeah, it's a foul, isn't it, on a Luco from Luke 09. And it took us almost 10-15 minutes to get going into that second half. I think this one's he does hold him. It doesn't go down Broadhead, and he's not really asking for it. But again, it's Enciala who's coming to get involved, and he's once somebody goes past him, he's panicking as a centre half there. He's grabbing out for somebody, you know, trying to get back on track. But sod's law, I think it is him that gives the penalty away for the handball later on, isn't it? But we did come into the half. Lee Johnson made a couple of substitutions. Aidan McGeady coming in on that far side. He had 1 or 2. He played a couple of good balls through. Played one for Lyndon Gooch to get us going in that second half. And that's all it takes really for somebody to come on off the bench and to try and take control of the game by getting, you know, 1 or 2 passes, fizzing a ball into somebody and trying to say, like, let's get going on the front foot. Because at that stage in the game, you could hear the crowd. You know, there was a few murmurings going on, and that goal almost summed it up really. It was a floaty, lofty corner from Pritchard when he came on. Luke 09's free at the far post. The goalkeeper comes to try and get there. He doesn't, he gets bumped, he gets blocked. You see the keeper now. Does he run into it? There's not an Ipswich player around. There's 2 or 3 Ipswich players. And I think he's appealing because he doesn't know who's blocked him off. But yeah, there's someone in there. But nah, for me,
he's batting over to him.
It's not a foul. It's not a foul, no, not at all. And then Luke 09's there, he just almost ducks out of it really and just plonks it into that far corner. This one late on, obviously it was offside, but it's good play. Diaco, he was brighter when he came on this left-hand side. And this is the penalty now, and I say, as it sits up for us, you can see why not have a go.
Bang.
I mean, we're watching it in slow motion there, so you can say, oh, well, yeah, it's hit his hand. But when you see it in normal speed...
It's one of those ball-to-hand situations.
Massive ball to hand. It's probably in the Premier League one of those where VAR would say, oh, yeah, well, it's hit his hand, then it's a penalty. But no,
by the letter of the law.
For me, as an ex-defender there...
Defenders Union here.
Defenders Union, and that's for the opposition here. But listen, it's hit his hand. He's 3-4 yards away. Ross catches it really well, and that is a soft penalty. But we're not complaining.
But already 1 goal up, though, at that point.
Goal
it's
up,
not as if the penalty decided the game, did it?
Exactly. But what it does there, it takes a little bit of pressure on us. And then right at the death there, Diaco's just running across his man. Little ball from Winchester over the top. And you can see he's looking to just try and drop it over the goalkeeper into the roof of the net there. But finished the game quite strong. Finished the first half strong. Other than that, we weren't really at it. But when you're in a rut, as we said there, get over the line the best way you can, and we've managed to do that. We've come away with a clean sheet, getting back to clean sheets because we've shipped too many goals. We've scored a couple. Things look a little bit rosier in the changing rooms all of a sudden.
Absolutely, it's time to look at the positives, and we're going to look at the other scores now in and around EFL League One. This is how they finished. Accrington Stanley 2, Sheffield Wednesday 3, Charlton 2, Plymouth 0. Cheltenham 2, Shrewsbury Town 1, Crewe Alexander 2, Gillingham 0, Doncaster Rovers 0, Lincoln City 0, Fleetwood 1, Morecambe 2, MK Dons 1, Burton Albion 0, Portsmouth 2, AFC Wimbledon 1, Rotherham 3, Cambridge 1, Wigan and Oxford. We think we heard rumours that it might be a COVID reason for that being postponed. And then Wickham, 1-0 winners at home against Bolton Wanderers. I mean, what's jumping out of there for you there, Danny?
League leaders getting beat, I think, isn't it? They've been going strong, and we've been waiting for them to slip up. But yeah, Charlton, who under Johnny Jackson have been excellent. Started up here, didn't it, when they beat us 1-0, and,
yep.
and you know, he's got them going down at Charlton. But that one there, but then you're seeing Rotherham still going strong. You know, good result for them at home. I'd have expected them to beat Cambridge at home, to be honest, and Wickham as well. So, but yeah, we've done our job this afternoon, haven't we? So when you're looking at that league table, it does look a little bit rosy, which I'm sure we'll do now.
Let's have a look. Sunderland sit in 6th position on 31 points, having played 16. There's still got a couple of games on the teams around us still, though.
Yeah, a couple in hand here and there. Obviously, Wigan have got a couple in hand as well themselves. But yeah, it's still tight up there, isn't it? You know, at least we've say Plymouth have come to a little bit of a halt there. They've still got a couple of points, but yes, they've played, you know, a couple of games more than ourselves and the likes of Wigan as well. But yeah, it was vitally important that we've won that today. You know, if we're getting beat there, we're sitting there sort of in between Sheffield Wednesday and Oxford, aren't we? And you're still looking up, and once you see yourselves back in the playoff spots, and then you're looking at the teams who you're hunting down next, really, aren't you? And you know, from our point of view, we've got to get after the likes of Wickham and Wigan again, but still a long way to go. You know, we're not even halfway through the season yet, are we?
We're not. Very interesting. But the all-important stat this afternoon is Sunderland have won by 2-0. We're going to have a look at your thoughts now by using the hashtag AskDanny on social media. Let's have a look at the first one then, please. This one is from Chris, who says, in a lot of games we've been flat at the start of the second half. Any ideas on why our intensity drops and how we can improve in that area? Now, you know, we can't get away from the fact that Ipswich enjoyed a lot of possession in the early stages of the second half, didn't they?
Well, they did, yeah, and the question he's asked there, I think it's been a bit of an issue, not just this season. I think previous seasons we always seem to mention it, don't it? It's like you're coming out of the changing rooms, whoever's been in charge, and you can't just try and feel your way back into a game. I think we started the first half slow, and then as he mentioned there, Chris has mentioned, we come out second half, and Ipswich from the first minute just got back on the ball. They were stringing passes together, and that's where you're looking for a little bit of intensity, someone to go and make a tackle, go and press, go and put a challenge in, gets the crowd back on side. And you know, for us being in League One, I think we do dominate games a lot of the times. When you look at possession, we do come out on top in terms of possession, but it doesn't always win your football matches. But when you're seeing teams come here to the stadium, like 30-odd thousand in the stadium, the Sunderland fans don't want to see teams coming here and having a lot of the ball and just enjoying passing it round. When it was lethargic, wasn't it? You know, 5-10 minutes of the second half.
Yeah.
Ipswich didn't really hurt us with the ball, but even just having even that possession, you know, it's.
I just think the Sunderland fans are used to it down in League One. A team coming and dominating possession in that way. They're not used to it, especially this season.
No, not really. No, teams in the past we've seen teams come here and sit deep and you know, say, "Can you break us down?" And we struggled to do that, didn't we?
I think it was a good Ipswich side this afternoon, though. Danny. You've got to give them credit.
Give them credit, exactly that. You know, I said, pre-season, you're looking at their team, what they've put together, and yeah, they didn't get off to a good start this year. But in recent weeks, the last 7 or 8 games or so, they've had 4 or 5 wins in there, so they are picking up. They have been scoring goals, so you've got to think, you know, perhaps Lee Johnson's assessed it, and perhaps in recent weeks we've just thought whoever we're playing, we'll just concentrate on our game and we'll beat whoever's in front of us, or certainly dominate possession. Now, whether we've looked at that a little bit more and thought, well, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll take our foot off, we'll just drop a little bit deeper, and maybe try and hit them on the counter-attack and play teams at their game, really, coming up to the stadium and light. But when you've got 30-odd thousand Sunderland fans in here, as I said there, it's a difficult one because they don't want to come here and see the opposition enjoying, you know, sustained periods of pressure with the ball. But they didn't really hurt us, did they, second half? And then we get the goal. It's a scruffy one, isn't it, by the way? And then we get a scruffy penalty. In a way, it summed up the overall occasion. I said before the game it could have been 0-0, it could have been 4-4. Didn't go either way in terms of that, really. And it's two scruffy goals which have decided the game. I think Paul Cook will be disappointed. You said there, didn't you? I don't think Ipswich deserved to lose the game, if I'm honest. But that's not how football goes sometimes. You know, you can play well. Go back to Burton Albion away.
Yep.
We deserved at least a draw that night. We came away with nothing. That's what happens in football. Got to take your chances when you can. And unfortunately for Ipswich's point of view, they had their best opportunities in the first half, where Hoffman had to make 2 or 3 good saves, didn't they? They didn't put the ball in the back of the net. We did manage to do that today.
Thanks, Danny. Let's have a look at the next one, please. Your thoughts and comments on hashtag AskDanny. Watching from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. That's Sheriff, or Ben, as he's known on the handle there. Can't believe the difference in how we play at the minute compared to how we start the season. What's happened? But I think today, we take your point, Ben, but I think today we saw a fresh, you know, something to build, a foundation stone, if you like, for something to maybe turn the season around of recent weeks.
Yeah, possibly. I know what he's saying there earlier in the season, where we were breaking teams open with some good play, you know, playing through the lines, getting Dan Neil on the ball, whoever else, just slotting nice little balls in.
But that comes with confidence, though, doesn't it,
Danny? Confidence is the biggest word in football for me. You know, results and confidence go together. Yeah, momentum, they're all in there. And it's mad how it can just flow in a game of football. You go 10 games in, where I think we're all happy with how things are going, then all of a sudden we lose to Charlton.
Yep.
And then Charlton deserved it. You know, it was a 1-0 game, really, wasn't it? Either way, it could have gone either way, that one. I don't think Charlton were that much better than us that day. But then all of a sudden, we go away to Rotherham, we go away to Sheffield Wednesday. And I said it before, you can get away with maybe 1 or 2 lads having a dip in form, but all of a sudden, maybe Ross Stewart aside, the whole team just seemed to have gone a massive dip, and the confidence just sapped throughout the whole team. And yes, we have got some young lads in the team, whether that's affected them by getting beaten the manner in which we did at Rotherham. But you've got to react in that, and you grow as a player. These younger lads, you know, Callum Doyle, Sirkin in there, young boys in terms of their age and in terms of the games they played in their careers, and they're going to learn from those experiences. Takes the stuffing out of you, you know, even as some of the senior boys are. I know fans will say sometimes the senior lads have got to get around the younger lads, and yes, they do, off the pitch at the training ground, but at the same time, the first job for these senior boys as well is to try and sort their own games out as well. You know, Tom Flanagan, for instance, I thought he was great for the first opening 10 games, has a little bit of a dip himself. So these boys then can't start going in the changing room, start barking at some of the younger boys, because you've got to look after your own game and try and get back on track. So, yeah, you do need the senior lads in there off the pitch just to rally together with some of the younger boys, really. And that's obviously affected the performance. He's asking there what's happened. Well, all teams, you know, say a lot of teams go through the season where you're going to have a dip in form and results. Now it's important that we try and react as best as we can. I know you can say, well, you can get beaten a game, maybe if it's a 1-0 or a 2-1 at Rotherham, and we would play well, and they've just shaded. But you know, they ran all over us that day, and we weren't at it, and that's the disappointing thing, I think, which a lot of the fans have seen. And thereafter, a big response from the boys. The break in the league has come at the right time for us. I think Lee Johnson said himself he's had an opportunity to work with the players. Not all the players, because we had, you know, majority of the back lads were away on international duty, weren't they? You know, Flanagan, Doyle, and Sirkin been away, so he's only had Cole Winchester out of the regular lads to work with. But I think it just helped them as a group, right? You know, to reset. You said, didn't you, before, to reset as a team,
yep.
To get away, maybe give them 2 or 3 days off to go and spend time with their families, then come back in this week and get back to it in training. I still think energy levels can be better than what we've seen at the second half. You know, Lee Johnson might come out and speak. We haven't heard his interview yet, but he might say, I wanted the lads just to sit a little bit deeper today. Let Ipswich have some of the ball, and can we, on the turnover, if we gain possession, hit them on the counter-attack? Yeah, we have got lads like Ross Stewart, Broadhead, who can, on the turnovers, get in behind them. You know, as we've seen it towards the end there, Diaco almost getting in. But yeah, when you're at home, when you've got 29,000, 30,000 Sunderland fans in here, I don't think they want to see teams coming up here, strolling around the pitch, having the Olé passing game going on. They want to see us having the ball, playing with some intensity, getting after teams. But at the end of the day, the main important stat of the game is that Sunderland have scored 2 goals.
Yep, absolutely.
And Ipswich have scored none and gone home, got back on the bus with no points.
Let's have a look at the next one then, please. As we continue, hashtag AskDanny. This one's from, I think it says Paul Robinson. What's more important, the 3 points or the clean sheet? Would a 0-0 have stopped the rot from China? Look at that.
Yeah,
you can pronounce the C if you want.
Xiao, Xiao. No, I think the 3 points was the big one. Certainly is to get back to winning ways. You know, would I have took a 2-1? Of course I would, or 4-3 even. Yeah, you want as a defender, and certainly for Hoffman and the likes, stop leaking goals. But first and foremost today was get back to winning ways. Gets the confidence back. You know, get back in the change rooms. You're looking at the other results you see in the table, and it looks a little bit rosier when you back up into those players, as I've just said there. But at the same time, well, he's asked the question, but we've managed to do both, haven't we? We've picked up the 3 points, and we've also managed to get the clean sheet as well. So the defensive unit are happy. I think we were better as a defensive unit today than what we were going forward. Yes, we've scored 2 goals, but limited them to little as well. I think for all the possession they had. Second half, I don't think Hoffman had a save to make second half, did he? First half, 1 or 2. Threw his cap on the one Serena, wasn't it, who didn't get enough on the purchase there.
The triple save as well.
Triple save, yeah. You know, could argue that they were sort of straight at him in a way, really. It wasn't a fingertip save over the top of the crossbar, was it? But he was in the right place at the right time. And so as a unit today, he made a couple of changes. You know, he took Flanagan out, brought Bailey right back in alongside Doyle. And they were good as a centre-half pairing. I think Winchester was excellent. He was up against, I thought Edwards was bright for them. He was busy.
Yep.
But I think he handled him well. And I think Luke O'Nien going back in at left-back, taking him out the middle of the park. I think Luke enjoyed it back there today. Again, he's gone down a couple of times, holding his shoulder.
I think Luke O'Nien had one of his best games of the season.
Probably his best game of the season, yeah. As the game wore on, really, had a big effect on it. Again, 1v1, he done well against Aluko as the game wore on. He fizzled out, didn't he, Aluko? We didn't see him second half. He drove forward well at times. Luke O'Nien won his headers, and he's got the all-important goal, really, that first goal.
Yep.
A nice little nod in at the far post. So, as a defensive unit, I thought that was where we were strong today.
Thanks, Danny. Have we got any more? Let's have a look. We've got a couple more. This is from East SAFC and from the East Midlands. What was the difference between today and the previous 3 league games? I think we played with a higher press today, and that wasn't there before. Not great and settled, but better. I think the fans are finding that you know, today was better, wasn't it?
I'd agree there. What was the difference, really? Not so much at Sheffield Wednesday. I think we had a good bit of possession there, 63%. I think I've seen on one of the stats we had at the ball there, but we didn't do a lot with it either. No. I think today he's asked the question. I think early on, yes, we had a good press about us and those trigger points, and at 1 or 2 occasions in the second half. But at the same time, we did sit off them. You know, we let them have it at the back. I think Enciala for them, I've seen him before, and I don't think he's great, but Paul Cook wants them to have possession. Yep. So whether Lee Johnson, for me, I'd be saying let Enciala have the ball. You know, as a defender, he's pretty big and he's strong and he wants to compete with people, but at the ball at his feet, I don't think he's great. So for me, once he gets on it, that's your trigger point, whether it's Broadhead, whether it's Ross Stewart, whoever goes.
There's Edmondson back there as well, who had a good game,
Edmondson,
didn't he?
I thought, done well, to be fair, on the left-hand side. But there was one he played, Enciala, didn't he? Second half, he tried to thread the ball in and we managed to nick it. And then the opportunity just went away. I think Gooch drove into the box and managed to win a corner. But yeah, there's certain times, and you can't do it for 90 minutes. You can't go and press for 90 minutes. You have to sometimes save some in the tank. Yes. For when you do have the ball, for for those little bursts going forward. But I think I'd say we managed the game better today. I think we were a little bit more cautious. I know I just said it there. The fans coming in here aren't going to want to see it every week. I know you're up against depends who you're playing as well. If you've got a Cambridge or one of the lesser,
I think from what we've seen from Ipswich this afternoon, though, Danny, they're going to be there and thereabouts, aren't they?
That's exactly that. You're coming up against a team who I've picked up in recent weeks, who you would expect to be up there, who have got some good technical players. You can't really always, they might find a way of threading balls through you. So I think Lee Johnson maybe was a little bit more cautious today, and certainly coming off the back of recent results.
It's worked though.
And it's worked today, yeah. So you could argue game plan has worked for us. They got frustrated, I think, as the game wore on. They created very little in that second half, although they had a lot of the ball. And we, on the counter-attack, we had a couple of occasions. Yeah, you look at our 2 goals where they've come from. One's from a set play, and the other one is from a throw-in, wasn't it? And it just sat up. Ross Stewart's had a half chance. It sat up for him, and he's smashed it against Enciala, and we've got the penalty. So we've arguably scored from 2 set plays, but it's enough to win us the game. And sometimes that's what it comes down to. And from open play, I don't think we were great throughout the 90 minutes. We didn't create too many good play. 3-4 passes where we managed to thread it through and work the goalkeeper. It wasn't one of them, but 3 points on the board.
Let's have a look at the last one. Final hashtag Ask Danny this afternoon from Ethan, who says, watching from Indiana, USA, if Sunderland continue to play like this, do you think it's enough to get back to winning ways? Well, We are back to winning ways.
It's winning ways.
Thanks,
It's won us
Ethan.
the game today. But no, I know what he's asking. I think from what he's saying, he wasn't overly impressed with the performance throughout the 90 minutes. But
there's so much to build on this afternoon, though, Danny, isn't there? The first team coach, Lee Johnson, and listen out for his interview. He'll be doing it on the SCFC socials and SCFC.com as well. So go and check that out when you can. But he's going to be picking up positives from all over the pitch, won't he? From the goalkeeper all the way through. Yeah, listen, confidence is fragile at the minute in the team. We've gone from losing the games in the league, we lost in the FA Cup. Bradford, do you count it as a loss? Yes, we drew the game, lost on penalties. But all the boys, he's used a lot of the squad there, and he's rotating it, looking to try and get a winning formula back into the team. And not too many really have stood out in recent weeks. So. Coming here today, as we say there, it's difficult. He's asking the question, can we go on and not say win the league or gain promotion? I think he's asked there from playing like we have today. But I think winning today, and if we go on if we get back to winning ways now, go on a 3-4 game unbeaten run, or 3 wins and a draw in the next 4 games, then the confidence comes back into the lads, and you'll see them playing with a little bit more of a swagger. But that's been taken away from the boys in the last few weeks because results haven't been good, performances haven't been good collectively and individually either. But games come thick and fast now. So today they've had a good result. They'll be feeling a little bit better about themselves. Lee Johnson will be. But they get back to training on Monday morning to get ready to go again in midweek. And that's how it's going to be now over the next few weeks. The games come thick and fast. Christmas period as well. And we've got to get back to it. And it doesn't matter sometimes how you win the games. We'd love to see us playing silky football week in, week out, but it's not always going to be the case. Thanks so much, Danny. That's it for this afternoon here at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland back to winning ways, and that's the most important thing to take away from this afternoon. We're back in action. They're going to come thick and fast in the next coming weeks and months, and we're back in action on Tuesday evening, 7:45 kickoff away at Shrewsbury Town, which means me and Danny will be back on air here on SAFC Live at 7:15 on Tuesday. With it being in the UK as well, you are able to purchase that at 7:45 kickoff, so you can purchase that in the UK as well as around the world here on SAFC Live. Where have you been watching this afternoon? Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you soon.